Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. Long time no hear from me because I've just been living life, guys. So much stuff going on. Um, I don't even know where to start. Well, I'll start by saying I hope everyone is fine, healthy, and COVID free. Considering what we all have gone through in, I guess, the last, 2 year and a half, 2 years, close to 2 years, I guess. Um, just to know that everyone is safe. And me personally, I've been vaccinated, and my youngest has been vaccinated. Um, my oldest is going to probably do it in the next week or so. I know that's like a confrontation of everybody is not on the same page with that, and I guess that's a personal decision. But for me, I did have some health issues, and so I thought it would be better for me to be vaccinated. But again, that's a personal um, decision that we all have to make. So um, anyway, yeah, guys, I have talked about in the past having back issues, and the thing with back pain is that I don't know. It's like sometimes you can go through therapy and it could relieve some of the discomfort or pain, but a lot of times it's like a progressive thing. It just gets worse. Uh, for me, mine started just while I was working. I would just get back pain at the end of the day. So I thought that was normal. 20 plus years in home care. Sometimes, not all the time, but sometimes having to lift a person, and I'm short. I'm big, but I'm short. I'm only 5 feet. And so all of the clients I've had in the past, they were all taller than me. And so, sometimes you're lifting a person and you're not doing it in the, I guess it would be like, the right position. It's like there is a way that you really should, if you're going to lift someone, to do it a certain way. I guess it's like so that you don't strain your back. But I will say, I've had some clients that no matter how I'm trying to do it, they're determined that, if you're lifting somebody from a wheelchair, and a lot of the elderly are so afraid of falling, you're trying to lift them from a wheelchair and they're holding on to the wheelchair. And so you're lifting them, their weight, and the wheelchair. And so I had about a year of that, and that was like at the end of, I guess, my home care career, because the lifting that I did all the other years, it wasn't that bad. It was minimal. Once in a while, if somebody was sick and they couldn't really get out of bed, I had to help them out the bed. But I guess the last 2019, yeah, I guess it was 2019, that it was a lot to deal with that case. And so it put a lot of strain on my body. And so I went from, having, oh, you have bulging discs. Didn't really understand what that was. My doctor explained it to me as, I hope I'm saying this right, that, we have a cushion between I guess, the vertebrae in our spine. There's a cushion there. And that cushion, that's a natural cushion that's supposed to be there. However, when you have bulging discs, it's like a compression on the vertebrae, is straight up, lined up, and there's the cushion in between. But when you have bulging discs, they start to, if it's supposed to be here, then it goes down to here. And so the cushion inside is bulging out. And that can cause issues with nerves, pinch nerves, because it's pinching it basically. And like I said, for me, it was just at the end of the day, I would have the pain, and so, put in your medicine. But the thing is, with pain medicine, it doesn't solve the problem. It just that medicine tells your brain you're not in pain for how many ever hours. So I don't know if it's dealing with serotonin or whatever, but it just basically says, no, you're not in pain. Even though whatever's still going on inside your body, that medicine just tells your brain, you're not in pain. And so it does not solve the problem. So usually it's sometimes therapy, some type of, sometimes they have different surgical procedures. One that I go for is the epidural. And so with the epidural, just like, if a woman has a baby and she has to have an epidural in her spine for pain, like a pain block, it's basically the same thing. Along the lines, it's not exactly the same, but it's along the lines of that. So, excuse me, there's a needle. They have to do an ultrasound to find exactly this place where they have to go. And then there's a needle that they insert. And I believe, I think it's medicine. Yeah, this medicine that they insert in certain areas of my spine. And usually, when I first started getting that procedure, the first time I got it was maybe 4 years ago. Yeah, maybe 5 years ago, really. 5 years ago. And when I first got it, it was like I was really good. Like no back pain, pain pills, maybe once a day, that's it. And I really started feeling good. The problem is, I didn't realize that even that is like a temporary fix. So what happens is that the pain comes back. And it just, so the epidural just makes it where you don't feel the pain, but the pain does come back. And so I had to get it again. And I think the first time it lasted for 6 months, 6 or 7 months. And then the next time, again, 6 months. And then after that, probably another, I think I was getting it every 6 months. And then when COVID hit, I couldn't get it because all, non-life-threatening surgeries were canceled. So I was supposed to get it in April, and I didn't, not that April just passed, the past April when COVID first, we first were dealing with that. And I was supposed to get it, and I didn't get it. And I was in just so much pain. I mean, you could barely speak to any doctors because of everything that was going on. All appointments were canceled. And I knew that my situation had got worse because I was like waking up with pain. And I rarely woke up with pain. I would get pain at the end of the day. Then I noticed it, okay, in the afternoon, I'm getting it. Now I'm waking up with pain. And that was a lot. That was a lot to have to deal with. And so my pain management doctor had advised me. He basically said, are you still working? And I said, yeah, I am. And he said, why? I said, why? What do you mean? I have bills. I have to work. And he said, you're not going to be able to continue working. And I said, well, I have no other choice. I have to. I have to work. And he said, I'm telling you, I could see the MRIs. I see everything going on. And if you're going to continue working, then please reduce the hours you work and the type of work you do. Okay, so I decided, okay, well, I'm going to have to come out of home care. I'm going to have to make these changes. And then I decided to do something totally different. And I applied to work in a school because I had the home health aide certificate. I was going to be working with students that had autism and special needs. And so I thought, okay, having the certificate, like if that student needs I couldn't really give medicine, but if the student needed like somebody to take them to the nurse, if the student needed an asthma treatment, certain things, I would be there to do that, because I guess they said, okay, well, you have a certificate and certain things you're able to do that I guess the teachers couldn't do. I thought I'd do that. That job proved to be a lot for me because I was more active on that job than even doing a 12-hour shift in home care, which I didn't think could be possible. But I looked at it as, oh, maybe I'll get some of this weight off because I'll be more active and I'll move around. But it didn't work out like that because of the issues that I have with my back. Things just got worse, and I ended up falling. And when I fell, it really, really, it messed me up. It messed me up. And so I was out of work for 6 months. And then I decided, I got to work. So I went back to home care. And when I went back, I did it with basically a friend. So this friend of the family, she just needed someone to just run errands for her. And so it was only a few hours a day, a couple times a week. So I said, okay, this is fine. I can do this. And then the pain progressing. And I said, like, this is crazy. So I had to do something that, I had been putting off for the longest time. I had to apply for disability. And I'm going through that process now. And I would just say that with my depression and anxiety, this is like one more thing on my plate that I really don't need to deal with, but I'm forced to deal with it. I have applied once and I've gotten denied. So now I'm in the process of putting in papers for the appeal, and it's rough. It's almost like if you see my MRIs and you see everything that's going on in my body, how could you say, oh, but we still feel like you can do this, or we feel like you can do that? I don't know. I don't know. Oh, beautiful doggy, puppies. Smells my dog. Hello. Hi. Okay. Oh, pretty puppy. Yeah. So smells my Charlie. Um, yeah. So I'm going through that process, guys, and it's really stressful. It's really stressful. I know a few friends of mine are kind of going through the same thing, and it's rents in New York City are really expensive, and it's like when you are already stressed out on paying bills and then whatever anxiety or depression you're dealing with, it doesn't help it. It's like it just makes it worse. It's like one more thing that you just have to manage. I would say that I thank God that I definitely have a great therapist that's helped me through a lot, because I don't know what I would do if I didn't have her. I have my session like every week, and she's so helpful to me because sometimes it's like I can just get like so confused off of the simplest things, and then sometimes the way she will say things to me, it just like give me a different perspective, because you just kind of get a little emotional and not understanding how things going to work out, or why I did this, or and it's good to just know that having a good therapist in your corner to help you through these challenging things that we have to go through. But anyway, guys, I wanted to check in and kind of let you know what's going on with me. As far as weight loss, there's nothing at all. There's no changes with that. There's no changes, and that's another thing. I am considering another surgery, but I'm also afraid. I really am. But I also know, I'm 49, and next year I'll be 50 years old. So to wake up and just be in sheer pain all day long, and like I said, my back is not going to change, but the weight plays a part in it also, and it causes the anxiety to go up. And so this is something I'm thinking about. He's like, I think about it and then I let it go. Think about it, let it go. Think about it, let it go. And I'm thinking about it again, So I don't know. Am I the only one that's kind of considering that, or has everyone been able to maintain, what they've lost? Okay. Has everyone been able to, maintain what they lost? Or I know on the Instagram, the quite a few people that I follow, have decided, you know, and I mean, some people I had surgery 2016. I mean, some people had it in 2015, or sometimes, some people have had it after me and still have had to have a revision. Um, so I guess it's just something that I guess it just come up. Am I the only one? Let me know in the comments, guys. Has anyone, kind of going through that same thing? For the ones that's been able to maintain their loss, I commend you, because it's not an easy thing. And when people say, "Oh, we cheated," no, we didn't cheat. We didn't cheat. We did. People who are able to monitor everything that they're eating and exercise, and I mean, thank God they're able to do that. But everybody can't do it the same way. And this, to me, is so difficult, because it's almost worse, because before you couldn't lose any weight, and then you actually see yourself lose weight. You have all these pictures, all these Facebook reminders that are coming back years later, and you're like, wow, I really did lose weight. And then now, oh, I put the weight back on. It's like so frustrating. But what it did teach me is that now that I do have a therapist, something I didn't have then, it's taught me that, you know what, Vanessa, with your therapist, who's very hands-on, and the fact that you know something now that you didn't know then, is that I really do have, there is an eating addiction there. I didn't realize that, or when I heard it, I didn't want to accept it, but I get it now. There's definitely there's an eating addiction. I definitely suffer with that, and so if I did, oh, it's so warm in this lobby. I'm going into the supermarket now. If I was to have another surgery, I'm sorry, sir. I'm sorry if I blocked you. If I did, then it's like, at least I know I'm understanding more about, the emotional part of it. Okay, so you can have the surgery, but understand that I have to put my mask on. Okay, going into the supermarket, I gotta put my mask on. Let me see. Yeah. Okay. Wait. Yeah. Like I said, what I know now that I had no idea is that, I've said this in other videos, that I really didn't understand it. And it's like, okay, yeah, I knew the requirements, what they told us, the checklist of what I needed to do. Go to this doctor, go here, get this signed off, do this amount of nutritional classes, and boom, you'll get your approval. But what nobody said to me, or I didn't think about it, was that whatever you lose, how will you be able to maintain that loss? What are you going to do differently? Because you're going to lose the weight just because you're eating less. But, oh, I love beautiful lemons and limes. You're going to lose the weight because automatically you're eating less. But when that weight comes off, how do you maintain it? And like, you go through a phase of your, meal prepping. You're doing all of that. But do you continue doing that, or do you do that for a certain amount of time? And that was my issue. I did it. I did the meal prepping. But then you start to go back to, oh, not too good. I love lemons. And they have limes. I love to put the lemon and the or cucumber in the water. I love that. That's, a different way of getting your water in. Yeah, but I did all of the meal, the prepping, because, the way I was working, I had to make sure that I got my breakfast and lunch that I would have to carry with me, and I would meal prep on Sunday for like the whole week, and that was really, really good. The problem is, when I started kind of like eating my I would have my breakfast and my lunch, but I was no activity. There was no activity level at all because I'm sitting. So granted, breakfast, two boiled eggs, a cup of coffee. Okay, lunch, a protein, like a Premier Protein and a Greek yogurt, and then my dinner would be like salmon with spinach or something like that, and it was really fine. But I was not moving, guys. When I first had my surgery, or at least I say 6 months after having surgery, I'm looking at fruit here. When I well, maybe 6 months, 5 or 6 months after I had my surgery, when I was working, wasn't working many hours. I think I was working 6 hours a day at the time. 6 hours, yeah, 6 hours a day, 5 days a week. And so after work, before work and after work, I was able to walk. I would get into, I have even on earlier videos that I did where I was doing like 16,000 steps a day. And that's a high day. But on my low days, I definitely was like 14,000 because I was always moving around. So to go from that to now, okay, I'm not moving at all. I'm not getting any exercise because all I'm doing is sitting at somebody's table. I'm not doing nothing. That was the thing that really messed me up. And then when I saw, okay, less activity, then I start to see the weight coming on. And automatically, like after you've had surgery and then the weight either is coming off or you have, what is it that? Not a plateau, stall. Yeah, when I used to have my stalls would actually be 4 to 5 months. And before surgery, the weight would be fluctuate. But I remember being 247 pounds for 6 months, I believe. And then I remember one day I got on the scale and that 247 was now, it was 244. And it was like, huh? It was like, it finally moved after all these months. That scale moved. And something happened emotionally that when I saw that scale finally move, instead of me rejoicing in that, like long-term rejoicing, I did the opposite. I celebrated with stop doing what I had been doing. I stopped meal prepping. I just got too comfortable with things and I stopped getting on the scale, guys. I know I can't be the only one that just got so comfortable with things who did the same thing, but that's exactly what I did. I just got so comfortable. And then when I did get on the scale, that 244 was 250. And then little by little, it would go down a pound, then it started creeping up. And then I think that I really was just really so just depressed that I felt like I don't know what to do at this point because, prior to having surgery, if I made certain changes, automatically within a week or two, I would notice it. But I don't know if it's something just about the surgery, but I will say, I don't know if this happened to anybody else, but it's like you can really be putting your all into it, and sometimes that scale just wouldn't move. I don't know what's that about, but there were times it just would not move at all. And it's like, wow, I am moving around, I'm doing this and that. Why is it not moving? And then that right there messes you up emotionally. There's so many emotional, I guess like roller coaster ups and downs to the surgery that nobody tells you. And I would tell anyone, if you're considering the surgery, the first thing you need to do, if you're able physically to do it, is to find yourself a good gym. Start moving around right now before if you're able to. A lot of us are not able to. because you have pain, you have this, issues, back pain, and, sometimes you're not able to. But for anybody considering VSG, or I guess bypass surgery, get yourself into a gym, and I don't care what it is, do something, start doing something, so that if your doctors deem that this is surgery for you and you can get approved and you get it, already in your mind, you're already a person who goes to the gym. Because I wasn't like that. I wasn't a person who went to the gym. I didn't really start going to the gym until maybe 9 months after surgery. That was a terrible thing. Even though I know I had pain, there was things I could have done. I could have sat down and I could have done lifting or some weights, or I could have done something. Walking was very hard. I have a torn meniscus in my left knee, so I don't know if I could have done the treadmill, but there's something I could have done just to kind of introduce myself to being at the gym. And then even the meal prepping, I could have been doing that. I mean, I applaud the people's channels that I've watched over the years that, they didn't just go to doctor's appointments to get approvals. They did their due diligence health-wise as much as they could. Because those are the people who probably, in my opinion, probably have better success. Because I can see where I failed at for myself, And so, they say when you know better, you do better. So, like I said, I am considering a second surgery. I'm afraid because I know that surgery is a serious surgery. But at this point, guys, it's something that's definitely in my mind, But please let me know, has anyone else